Today we will check what is better to start with, running or cycling. Both activities are great for health and fitness, but they have different advantages and limitations. We'll look at calories, injuries, costs, and what suits beginners. The choice doesn't have to be hard if we know what to pay attention to. In the meantime, today I will be doing a 1-hour interval workout on a trainer using the Zwift app. First a warm-up and then 6 hard 2 minutes intervals, so a very tough sessions await me today. I choose the volcano climb map where we will be climbing up the volcano. Running pros and cons. Running is the most accessible form of movement. It only takes a pair of good running shoes and a bit of motivation. A running workout quickly raises your heart rate and strengthens leg muscles and bones. At the same body mass, running burns more calories. For example, a person weighing say 70 kilograms will burn about 590 kilocalories during an hour of running at around 8 kilometers per hour. However, it is a sport that puts stress on joint and tendons. Over 90% of runners sustain some kind of leg injury each year. Unfortunately, I've been similar experience myself. The most common injuries are knee pain, Achilles tendon, inflammation or shin overuse. So if you are a beginner and want to start with running, start cautiously, begin with easy run, walk intervals and gradually start increasing the distance. Cycling pros and cons. Cycling is a lower impact workout. Much of your body weight is supported by the saddle. It will strengthen the leg muscles, especially the quadriceps, but it burns fewer calories per hour than an intense run. For example, that same 70 kg person in 1 hour of easy riding, up to about 20 km per hour, will burn around 290 kilocalories. That's almost half as much as when running at a similar pace. On the other hand, it's usually easier to ride longer. Cycling sessions often last 2 to 3 hours or more, which allows you to burn a lot of energy in total. A big advantage of the bike is the lower risk of overuse injuries. Statistics show that cyclists sustain on average about 6 injuries per 1000 hours of training, while runners sustain about 11 per 1000 hours. Of course, you need to pay attention to bike fit, saddle height, back angle, and avoid overloading the neck and hands. Additionally, riding in traffic carries a risk of accidents, so you should always wear a helmet and ideally have lights. In my case, fortunately, cycling hasn't caused any injury yet. What is more, even when I have injuries that interfere with running, they turn out to be unnoticeable on the bike. Comparison of calorie burn and efficiency. Comparing energy expenditure, running in the same unit of time usually burns more calories because you need to lift and stabilize your whole body with every step. At an equivalent effort, 1 hour of running yields about 590 kilocalories and 1 hour of easy riding about 290 kilocalories. But in practice, cyclists can often train longer. If you have time for a 2 to 3 hour session, you can burn a higher total number of calories than during a short run. Likewise, there is nothing stopping you from doing a harder workout on the bike, say some intervals, and then you will also burn a lot more calories. Injury risk and health. Running carries a higher risk of overuse. As I mentioned, about 9 out of 10 runners experience a leg injury each year. The most common issues are overuse of the knee, shin, or Achilles tendon. Cycling, on the other hand, loads the joints less intensely. On average, per 1000 hours of exercise, runners sustain around 11 injuries and cyclists only about 6. Still, remember that cyclist injuries often involve neck or back pain or numbness in wrists caused by poor bike fit, as well as the risk of falls. Costs and equipment. Starting with gear, running is cheaper. To begin, all you need is a solid pair of running shoes, about $150, and workout clothes. A bike requires a larger investment. For a good, durable road or gravel bike, you will pay around $1,000 and up. On top of that, came the must-have accessories, a helmet, lights, and it's also worth buying good padded shorts. Another factor is maintenance. The bike needs adjustments and regular servicing, whereas running has minimal costs, e.g. replacing shoes every few hundred kilometers. What to choose as a beginner? Both activities improve fitness and health. Running will strengthen your bones and burn more calories per hour, while cycling lets you train longer with less pain and a lower risk of injury. It's hard to give a single clear answer. The choice depends on your goals and constraints. If you want to burn calories quickly and care about bone strength, running may be better for you. If you have a joint issue or also prefer to train at home, e.g. like I do on a trainer with the Zwift app, the bike will be better. You can also mix them, e.g. run a few times a week and ride on the other days. The most important thing is to start slowly and gradually increase the intensity. My experience. For me, as you can probably guess, cycling is a much better choice. Above all, the smaller number of injuries matters to me, and I've always had a problem with that when running. Besides, cycling is simply enjoyable, and I love doing it in my free time, and the fact that you can improve your fitness and burn a lot of calories at the same time is even better. If you are a few kilograms overweight, then all the more reason not to start training with running. In that case, start with walks or with cycling because your weight doesn't matter as much here. If you want to lose weight, I find cycling better. Running isn't particularly pleasant, and when training on the bike, it's easier to stick with your resolutions longer. What's more, I don't think I know people who started training on the bike and then quit. It's very engaging, you could even say addictive. So what is better for a beginner, running or cycling? For me, it's definitely cycling, and that is what I recommend you start with. Today, during the 1 hour fairly tough workout, I managed to burn 615 calories, which, as you can see, is quite a lot for cycling. Also note that I only covered 31.5 kilometers. That's because I spent a good amount of time riding uphill. So as you can see, it's not always worth focusing only on the kilometers, as it's often not the best metric. Average power 173 watts, average heart rate 149. My highest heart rate was in the last interval and was 179. I admit I still had a slight reserve, so in some time I may be able to increase the load. This kind of workouts is very good for improving fitness and for burning calories.